Let me ask you a question. How many motivational videos have you watched this year? 5, 10, 50? And how many of them actually changed your life? Be honest with yourself. You see, most people don't need more motivation. They need clarity. They need truth. And they need someone to finally say the things that hurt, but also heal. So I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. This is not a feel-good video. This is a wake-up call. And if you stay with me till the end, I promise you, your mind will not be the same. Because what I'm about to tell you, no one ever taught us in school. This is the kind of wisdom that comes from failure, from pain, from being lost, and finally choosing to fight back. So sit tight. And I know you've heard of Newton's first law in physics. An object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an external force. Right? Now I want you to keep that law in your mind as you go through this video, because every single point I make is going to connect back to it. By the end, everything will click, and your mind will crack wide open. This might just be the last motivational video you'll ever need, because once you understand what I'm about to say, you won't have to keep searching. But of course, there'll be many oversmart people who'll skip the video halfway thinking, "Oh, I already know this." But here's my question. If you already knew, did anything change? You've watched dozens, maybe hundreds of motivational videos. What happened? Nothing, right? Because knowledge without depth is noise, and to create real change, you have to go deep. You have to understand the root, not just the surface. If you're just collecting information, go watch another 1,000 videos. But if you're serious, really serious, then let's start. Because the next few minutes will give you pure practical gold. Why you're still stuck. Let's begin with a hard truth. If you haven't yet achieved anything meaningful in life, if your dreams are still just dreams, and when it's time to take action, you feel demotivated, lazy, distracted, then the root cause is this. You've given yourself options. You've treated success like a wish list. Your goals aren't non-negotiable. They're nice-to-haves. You've told yourself, "No hurry, I still have time." You've convinced yourself that your time will come someday, but look around. Most people live this same lie. They prioritize cheap dopamine, entertainment, gossip, scrolling, snacks, while letting their real goals rot in the corner. They've normalized suffering. They live unfulfilling lives and call it normal. They settle for less because the crowd has settled. And slowly, so do you. Just like Newton's law, you're in motion, but in the wrong direction. Life is moving forward, yes, but it's moving forward in pain, confusion, and regret. You're in negative inertia. The Trojan horse effect. Have you heard of the Trojan horse story? The Greeks wanted to conquer Troy. They tried for months but failed to break through the giant fortified walls. Then they built a massive wooden horse, beautiful, elegant, and left it outside the gate as a gift. The Trojans, thinking they'd won, brought it inside. But hidden inside that horse were soldiers. At night they came out, opened the gates, and Troy was destroyed. That's how we lose our inner war. We allow beautiful-looking distractions into our minds. They look harmless, even rewarding, but inside them is destruction. After giving in to those distractions, you feel drained, defeated. You regret it. Every time. The Matrix illusion. Remember the Matrix? There's a scene where Neo is being guided through a crowd. Suddenly, a stunning woman in red walks by. Neo stops, looks back at her, completely distracted. Then his guide says, "Look again." Neo turns, and now the woman is gone. Instead, there's an agent pointing a gun at him. That's how it works. The distractions you find attractive, they're traps in disguise, and they're waiting to catch you off guard. 3 life-changing principles. Let me now give you 3 core ideas, the kind that can truly reset your life. 1. Warrior mentality. The crowd does predictable things, safe things, comfortable things. But warriors, they don't follow the crowd. They pick the path most avoid. The path of hardship, growth, and transformation. Heard of David Goggins? He doesn't do what feels easy. He does what feels necessary, even if it's painful. Especially if it's painful. You need to start doing the opposite of what most people your age are doing. They stay up late? You sleep early? They waste time online? You invest time in your body, your craft? The truth. No one takes you seriously when you live like the crowd. But when you start moving differently, people feel threatened because you're no longer predictable. You've stepped out of their script. Identity shift. Don't just try to act different. Be different. Make a list. A warrior doesn't chase cheap pleasure. A warrior moves with discipline. A warrior works while others scroll. A warrior creates while others consume. A warrior shows up. Every single day, print this. Paste it. Live by it. You're not trying to improve. You are the kind of person who does this. That's your new identity. Pain versus pleasure curve. Let's talk about decision-making. We all make choices for two reasons: to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. But here's the trick. Bad habits, they start with instant pleasure and end in pain. Scrolling, binge-eating porn feels good now, destroys you later. Good habits, they start with pain but end in deep satisfaction. Reading, working out, learning a skill, it's hard at first but deeply fulfilling later. So what should you do? Rewire your associations. Attach pain to bad habits. This drains me, makes me weak, wastes my life. Attach pleasure to good habits. This energizes me, builds me, prepares me for greatness. You're hacking your brain. Your mind is like RAM. Think of your brain like a phone with limited RAM. Right now, you've filled it with 30 tabs: motivational shorts, self-help podcasts, 10 career options, 20 skills, 50 influencers. So what happens? You freeze. Too many options. Paralysis. You keep collecting knowledge, but doing nothing. Sir Francis Galton had a high IQ, yet achieved little because he jumped between fields. Charles Darwin, with lower IQ, focused, and he changed the world. Focus wins, always. Pick one thing. I get messages like, should I do blogging or YouTube? What pays more, graphic design or dropshipping? Which skill is safer? You know what the answer is? Just start. Pick anything you're slightly curious about. Focus on it for a few months. Don't switch. Reverse thinking model. If you're still confused about what you want to do, use this method. 1. Write down 5 to 10 things that interest you. 2. From those, pick 2 you're both good at and curious about. 3. Now go all in on 1. 4. Find mentors, watch, learn, do. 5. Track progress. Write everything. Apply everything. Make note-taking your superpower. The serious people carry notebooks. Everyone else carries regrets. Final words. Start the motion. Remember what I said in the beginning? Newton's first law. Nothing changes unless you apply force. Right now, your bad habits, your doubts, your procrastination, they're in motion. And they'll stay in motion unless you apply force. Don't wait for motivation. Start the grind. Even if it's painful, confusing, frustrating, start the motion. Because once you're in motion, momentum builds. And that is how you change your life. And now you understand. This journey you're on, it was never about motivation. It was about transformation. You don't need another video. You don't need another shortcut. You need to take the hard road. The one most people avoid, because that's where real power is forged. You were never meant to be like the rest. Not here to scroll your life away. Not here to chase cheap dopamine. Not here to stay stuck in a life you hate. You are here to become the kind of person who fights when it's hard, who builds when it's broken, who believes when no one else does. And remember Newton's law? The one we started with? An object in motion stays in motion. And today you've begun to move. Don't stop now. You've just taken control of your mind, your time, your destiny. Now run with it. Because the world doesn't need more people who know. It needs more people who do. So go. Build the life you were born for. Not tomorrow, now. This is not the end. This is your rebirth.